Hi guys, in this video we gonna show some more conditional statement and some more looping statement in Python. This is a continuation of the introduction to Python lecture and this is the second session. So in this session I gonna show how to learn some basic of the Python by solving some problems from the beginning. By now, maybe we all know that how variable declared, and I shown in the last lecture about the if and else statement. But in here, I'll go a little bit further. So say, let us try try to see how you can get an input from the keyboard. Say in a program, you can either declare a variable but by two way. Either you can declare a variable from the code, you hard code from the variable, like in here this is a variable where you declare that score 1 is having a value of 40. But this thing but the same thing we can do by using the option open. That means we can get this kind of variables or this kind of input from the keyboard. Say in Python the statement is input. So that means you can once if you run this line, the system gonna be ready to get some input from the keyboard. But I put int in the front because the input system will take it as an integer. So let's run this line. Once if you run this line, this means that the system is ready to get some input from the keyboard, and that's why in here you can see the asterisk sign. That means the system is ready and please do some input, and the system is busy as well. At the same time, this notebook you can see in here, that means it is a busy, that means kernel is busy, and it's still waiting for you to do some input, to get some input. So in this situation I'm gonna put the input is, let's say, 23, and then I put enter. See, the output is 23. That means number 1 is a variable where the input is getting as 23. So in future, if you call number 1, it will return 23. But in the first line, you can see input. So inside the input, if you write down something, then it will give you that string as well, just to know what is actually that operation, or what is actually the system want you to put something. Like if you run this line, so then what it is showing is inside the asterisk, inside the double quote, it is input a score value. That's why input score value is in here, and then so that the user will know what actually it's mean by. That's why once if you say in this line input something, but if you say star line, double quote, and then you write something like ent, enter something, enter something, and then if you run this code, then you will see input. So if you run this code, so this one, oh hang on, at the first I have to finish this one. So until and unless you finish this one, it will still running. So entering input value, then once if you put input value, then if you enter, then it is showing that in that variable the value is 56. Similar things happening in here, like 55, enter. That means in that variable it is getting that value which you put into from the keyboard. So this is how you can put a value from the keyboard. Okay, so in here there is another if else statement. I already shown last class how if statement, if and else statement is work. So in a variable I put 40, and another variable I put 45. So two variable, one is a score 1 and another one is a score 2. Then I add a if else statement. So if score 1 plus score 2 greater than 100, so greater than, less than, equal to, this sign is all the basic arithmetic symbol gonna work as a straight away, logical way, as mathematical way. If score 1 plus score 2 greater than 100, which means that actually it is not greater than 100, you can see it should be 45, print something else, print something else. So from this output, from this program, we know that the output should be not greater, because the if statement not going to satisfy first statement, so it's not going to execute first statement, and then it's going to go to the second statement. So if you run this code, you will see the output is written there not greater, something like that. So let us do some Let us solve some problem and we'll learn a bit more. So in here we will get two input value from the keyboard, and then we'll apply one if and else statement. So say at the in first line we get an input value and convert it as an integer and put it into a variable called score1. Similar thing we will do in second line in score2. So let's run this code and see what's happening. At first, enter input value. So let's say if the value is 100 and you put enter, and then second line gonna be execute. So in score 1 at this moment the value is 100 and we want something to score 2 as well. So say let's score 2 is 50 and you put enter. So what happens is the output gonna given is invalid score. Please check the input. The reason is once because score 1 and score 2 altogether is 150, and in this situation that's why the if statements gonna be execute, not the else one. So that's why once any if and else statement or if elif and else statement one statement is satisfied, then the program gonna finish. That's why if and else statement is used to check only one condition. When that condition is satisfied, the system gonna, I mean program gonna finish. So in this situation, that's why we put one value into the score 1 and then put another value into score 2 by this way from the keyboard, and we have checked the values and then seen that it is over than 100. See, so let's run again. So run again, same code, run again. So in this situation, I will keep the value, both of the value less than 100 and see if else statement is working or not. So say at first we want to put 20 and then enter, and then in second we put 30, 50. So total value should be 50. So in that case, if line not gonna be execute and should be else gonna be execute, and it should be like print not greater. The output should be print not greater. So let's enter print see not greater. So this is how if and else statement gonna be executed in the real life in real program. This is just a very basic ABC of the programming language, so that if you have a very good concept about this kind of looping statement, all other things, it will be easy for you to understand and implement any kind of programming language, not only in Python. So basic concept for any programming language almost be the same ground, same level. So if you have a very clear understanding and clear concept about the looping, while statement, for statement, variable statement, getting the variable, and then it will be easier for you to implement all other programming language as well as in the Python. So try to understand and get a good concept about the very basic stuff of in here. So we have another problem in here is a problem number 2. I added a problem number 2. This is another if and else statement. From now you guys can easily tell me what should be the output of this value. Score 1 is 50, score 2, score A is 50, score B is 55. So as I said, if score A plus score B greater than or equal to 100, yes, it is greater than or equal to 100. So then the output should be right print something. Yes, it gonna print whatever is written in there. Say it is invalid score, blah blah whatever. So let's run again and say if we print greater than or equal to say 50, if we put a value in here rather than 50, let's only 50 rather than 100. So in this situation, this statement not going to be executed because it's not going to satisfy the if statement. So let's run this code. So actually it comes from the greater than or equal to 50. It is greater than or equal to 50. So let's make it another way. So let's make it uh, equal to only again not greater than, say let's make it less than or equal to, which means that like this way, less than or equal to 50, then run the code. Sorry, less than should be like this way, other way around. So once if you do some mistake, you will actually learn something as well, and at the same time you will see the error message as well. See, nothing happening because before it was greater than or equal to 50. That's why it was giving you the output, but at this moment it is not, because it is not the, because both of the value addition is not less than or equal to 50. That's why it's not giving you any output in here. So this is how we have to think. Any programming language, you have to think first in your brain. You have to think it logically. So if it comply in your brain in a logical way, then you can implement it in a coding way. So there is another problem in here, problem 3. Get two number from the keyboard and use in the statement. Say before we define these two number, before two value, which is something like this one, we did this one. So I want you guys to solve this one by your own way, or think it or in your own way, or do some practice as well. Here there are some example which is similar like the other one. So just I put it in here to do some more practice in your own time. Okay. So in here, there is another problem. In this problem, the problem is you will put your name and you will put your age. So if your age is greater than or equal to 18, and then or your age is less than 31, in between this range, then the computer will write down something. Otherwise, it will write down something else. So this is how you write down the condition. You now, if you understand this kind of conditional statement concept, then you can do the similar kind of problem, or you can solve the similar kind of problem easily. So if you run this code, please enter your name, say whatever you name this one, and then please enter your age. How old are you, or what is your age? Say your age is 17, which means that it's not going to satisfy this line. Age greater than or equal to, not greater than or equal to 18, and should be both condition true, and not is not less than and 31. That means it should print last line, next one line. See, I am sorry, blah blah, whatever it is. Similarly, let's run again. Let's see, try to satisfy this statement. Say your age is equal to 18, and then it's gonna write down this one. Sorry, it should be other way. How old are you? Say 18. So that mean it executed this line. Okay. In here there is another program which this is a program to getting suppose you get a score in your uni. So as you know, according to Australian law, if you get 85 or more, then it is HD. If you in between 75 and 85, it is D, and then 65 and 75 in between is credit. And this is how it calculate the score in Australia. So write down a code where you can put your number and the computer will tell you what is your score. You got 80 or 85 or whatever. So say run this code, then I will run this code, then we will explain later. Say you get 49, right? Which is mean fail. It should tell you fail, right? You fail, because once if you put 49, what happens is you get that value into your into variable called mark, and then it gonna if else gonna do check every condition, check every condition starting from the top. It check first, then not happening something, because 49 is not greater than or equal to 85. That's true. So it's not going to execute that line, then it's not going to execute the next line, then it's not going to execute the next line, because none of them are satisfying except only one else. So once if any condition is not satisfying, then it's gonna go very below there somewhere, and it said that you failed. So let's try run again. So you got 64. 64 is not a credit, very close to credit, but it is not a credit. Unfortunately, it is a pass mark. So it should give you the pass. See, you get the only pass mark, because so at first it checked first one not satisfying, second one not satisfying, third one not satisfying, but fourth condition it said mark greater than equal to 50, yes, and then mark less than 65, unfortunately. So it print pass mark, something like that. So by knowing how it works, how any condition is works, how to checking any condition, then it is very easy to implement if and else. But you have to very careful about how this symbol is working, like sometimes greater than or less than sometimes. But once if you do some coding over and over, then it will be easy for you to implement and understand and learn. Okay. In here there is another problem. This problem is like to check any a value which is either like even or odd. Suppose you enter a value from the keyboard, and the keyboard you want to keyboard to check whether this value is even or odd number. It is very even or odd number. It is very easy if you divide the number by 2, and then if the numerator is 0, then you can say it is a even number. Otherwise you can say it is an odd number. So let's run the code. Oh, sorry, actually the number is 3. So in the at the same time you can do it by using the user input from the keyboard. So in here I say number is 3, but we can do, so let's apply another technique. So let's get the number from the keyboard. input input, say any value, input any value, and then say get this input as an integer. So I have to put int in the front, and then because we already know that how to get an input from the keyboard. So let's get an input from the keyboard. Say a number is, say, 5. It is an odd number. So what will happen is this 5 gonna go to num, and then num gonna divide it by 2, and if the numerator is not remainder is not 0, then it's gonna get the odd number. So the output should be the this one. So the your integer is odd, so it should be something like that. Okay, so let's run this line. Print, hang on, say stop, run, 5, enter. Okay, so in this way, once if you put 5 in there, and then your integer number is odd. So let's try again. Say in here you run the code, and then say 20. So it is an even number. So you get the number and then divide it by 2, and then check it is an even number, something like that. So in this notebook I have combined I have some more problems, like number problem 7, problem 8, problem 9, 10, and altogether it is altogether 14 of problem. The problems is written in there, and then the solution is there. So if you guys read the problem and then try to implement all this solution, you will learn something from this lecture, I believe. Anyway, if until now this is the finishing of the lecture, I will upload this notebook into my GitHub, so you guys can get up the link from the GitHub, and GitHub the link is in the comment section below. Get the Python file, I mean notebook file, and try to run it and do some exercise in your own way. So if you guys like this video, please subscribe to this channel, and see you guys in the next time maybe.